Hi, good evening everyone. Welcome to House of Elena, and my name is Elena, of course. This evening we are going to be talking about 5 simple ways of how you can taste wine. But I first, of course, want to send everyone light and love and good energy during this time of the pandemic. I hope no one is still depressed or anything like that. We need to keep our spirits up even in this very crucial time. So I'm very excited about this video and I hope you all are too. So I want to encourage you all to go and get the best wine glass that you have and a bottle of wine, because I want us to go through it together. So before I get any further into the video, I would also like to encourage you all to do this.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Elena Elaine. Thank you for watching.
Okay, we are back, and like I said, I would like to show you all 5 different easy steps in tasting wines. So just like a sommelier, you all want to know who a sommelier is. A sommelier is a person who is a professional in tasting wines. You'll often find them at fine dining restaurants or at a wine shop. So what they do is that they will choose the wine, or they will select the wine for you depending on what you order on your menu, and they will give you all the tasting notes. They will give you the best recommendation to go with your wine and so forth. So let's taste wine like a professional sommelier. Alright, so before we get into the wine tasting, I have 3 wine glasses here with me, and I just want to go through quickly the different types of wine glasses and what we use them for. So the first one I have is my champagne flute. Alright, the second one I have is my white wine glass. I hope you all can see. And the third one I have is my red wine glass. Okay, I wanted to have some other wine glasses to show you all, but everywhere is closed, so I have to work with what I have. Because there's a brandy, there's sherry, there's port, and also for different wines, there are different wine glasses. So you have the Bordeaux, you have the Shiraz, you have the Pinot Noir, you have the Cabernet Sauvignon. So there are different types of wine glasses that you usually use for the different types of wine. So anyway, the first one I want to discuss is the champagne flute. Alright, most of us know this, and it's very slender, and the rim of it is also very close. So it's as opposed to the red wine where the rim is wider, this one is more enclosed. The reason for this is because once the champagne or the sparkling wine gets into the glass, the oxygen or the air, once it comes in contact with the effervescence, aka bubbles, it evaporates quickly. So in order to trap the bubbles longer, this is the reason why you have the glass in this shape and the rim of it is more enclosed. Alright? And also there is a difference between champagne and sparkling wine. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick lesson on the difference between sparkling and champagne wine. Sparkling champagne, can only come from France. No other country can claim champagne. So every other country, all their bubblies, all their effervescence is considered sparkling wine. Alright, so that's just a quick lesson. In another video, I will get deeper into the difference between champagne and sparkling wine. Alright, so we now have the white wine. So this is my white wine glass, and the white wine and the red wine glass is very close. The only difference is that the rim is wider in the red wine as opposed to the white wine. And we'll get into that. So once again, with the white wine, the rim is more enclosed because you don't want the wine to get too hot. So once the oxygen starts to go in and make contact with the wine, the temperature changes. So it's trying to preserve the temperature as long as possible. And the opposite is for the red wine. Red wine, it is good to have oxygen, so it needs to breathe. When red wine needs to have oxygen, needs to come in contact. So when you open a bottle of red wine, it is not recommended that you take the cork and plug it back into the bottle because it needs to breathe. Unless you have a restaurant and you have your house wine, which goes quickly, then you know you'll find them putting the cork because it's not going to stay for a very long time. That bottle is used up very quickly because it is the restaurant house wine. All right, I hope I'm not going too fast for you all. So now that we have talking about the different types of wine glasses, well, some of them in another lesson as well, I will dive deeper into showing you all the different types of wine glasses once I can find them here in Trinidad. All right, and so I'll dive deeper into that. So anyway, like I said, I want to get into the 5 different simple steps in tasting wines. What are the 5 steps? The first step is the sight. Okay, so what do we look for in sight? We look for the color of the wine. All right, usually with red wine especially, what you can do is take a white piece of paper and you will hold the glass of wine to the paper, and then you can see proper clarity and the correct wine color. So you can practice this at home as well. All right, so the first one is sight. The second step would be to swirl. So once we get the wine in our glass and it is our tasting measure. Now what is our tasting measure? You're not going to fill the glass with too much wine. All right, I would say 2/3 of the glass, but for easier to remember, I would say just as it comes off as the curve right here, more to the base of the white wine, or sorry, of the glass, you can pour your wine there so that when you are swirling, all right, your wine is not coming out of the glass. Okay, so the second one is swirling. The reason why we need to swirl the glass is because we want to coat the glass inside with the wine. Because what it does, it prepares us to do the third step, which is to smell the wine. So we want to have it coated properly in the glass when we swirl, all right? And then it gives us the bouquet or the aroma of the wine. So our third step would be to smell the wine. What are we looking for when we're smelling the wine? Well, the bouquet of the wine is influenced by so many different scents, you know. Some people, depending, you would smell lemon, you would smell citrus, cherry, black pepper, even cigar, bread, you name it, you can get different scents from when you're smelling the wine. All right, so it's also helping you to gain appreciation for the wine instead of just drinking it like that. And that is why I always say wine is so different to beer and juice and so on, because it really is a beverage where you have to gain appreciation for it. So after we have we've seen the wine, we swirl, right? We smell, and when we smell in the wine, don't put your whole nose down in the glass. You just put in it, like, I would say 1 inch away from the glass, and you smell it. And a sommelier, who is a professional wine taster, can smell the wine and can give you all the tasting notes of the wine. All right, okay, so our fourth step is the sipping. All right, so when we sip our wine, it's not a tiny sip, nor it's a very big sip. It's almost as if you're putting mouthwash in your mouth, and it's full enough so that when the wine is in your mouth, it can touch every palate in your mouth. So it's not like just a tiny sip, because you want the wine to fill your mouth, but doesn't have your mouth like that, because you won't get to get a wine taste appreciation with it like that. So it's just enough, and hence the reason why you would put your tasting measure just on the curve at the bottom of the bowl of the glass. Okay, so of course when you're sipping the wine, okay, you are again looking for what you're getting from the wine, whether you're tasting oak, whether you're tasting a smoky finish, different, the bouquet and the taste of the wine is a very, very wide range. I would say there is no wrong way or right way with what you pick up when you taste the wine, because you might pick up lemon, I might pick up peach, and so on. So the tasting note is, I would say relative. Some of the wine bottles, if you look behind the label, you're going to see that they have already given you the tasting notes. So they will have professional wine tasters who are very well paid, and they will taste wine for the entire day. They will taste different wines, and they would recommend the tasting notes of what they have picked up in the bouquet and so on of the wine. All right, so the last step would be, can you guess? Swallow or spit. All right, so I will explain the spitting part. Right, so you want to swallow the wine. The spitting usually comes with, as I said, professional wine tasters. So they will have a spit bucket, and after they have tasted the wine, because they're tasting wine all day, they can't afford to be swallowing all that wine. All right, so after they have sipped the wine, then they will spit out. Okay, and of course they will have their, you can either drink water, you have your cheese, or you have your crackers, which clears the palate for you to receive the next wine that you'll be tasting. So we went through 5 different steps, and all of them begin with S. 1, sight. 2, swirl. 3, smell. 4, sip. And 5, swallow or spit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to demonstrate to you all. I have a bottle of Moscato. All right, this is Crane Lake Moscato, California, and the date isn't too bad. It's 2014. All right, and let me see. They did not give the tasting notes, so I guess that will be entirely up to the person who is drinking the bottle of wine. So I got a bottle of white wine, and I have a bottle of red wine. The red wine is not a very expensive wine. It's the Riuniti Lambrusco, but I love it because it's a sweet wine, and I more gravitate towards medium body and medium to sweet or sweet wines. Okay, so the correct way when you're opening a bottle of white wine or sparkling wine or champagne is in the wine bucket. All right, but for the purpose of those who probably don't know how to open a bottle of wine, now I'm very old-fashioned when it comes to wine, in the sense that I love the traditional of using your wine opener to open your bottle of wine. But because they're trying to save the trees, a lot of the wine bottles are just like a cap, which I think takes away the elegance from opening that wine. All right, and well, I know some winery use the plastic cork instead of the wooden cork. All right, enough chatter. So I hope you all have your glass, because I'm going to demonstrate the 5 different steps, the 5 S's of tasting the wine. All right, so first take this off, take the cap off. I'm probably going really slow. So you want the screw to go to the center. You lean it a bit, like a 45-degree angle. All right, and bring it to the front, 45-degree. And you want to screw down, not too much. Probably leave just one out. And oops, I didn't want to hear that pop. It was supposed to come out really. So that's the correct way. That's what I was told, but okay, gave me a pop. All right, so it's a myth that you can smell the cork and you can get the different scents from it. That is what I was thought in the past, but now they're saying no, that's not correct. So I don't know. So anyway, so let's go. I'm pouring my wine. Once again, when you're pouring wine for servers in the restaurant, as much as possible, you always have the label facing your guest. All right, but of course I'm facing this way. So when you're pouring the wine, you can all right, and to avoid it running down the bottle, you will twist it. Okay, so I would say that I have my tasting measure. See, it's just on the curve of the glass, and so I can now I am seeing it, okay, and it's a beautiful yellow. Let me see. I can't see it with this one. All right, so swirl, and so I'm coating the glass, okay. I'm smelling. I'm getting lemon. So the bouquet of it. So you can, swirl in between again. Smell, because you want that scent to come out. Okay. And probably a hint of peach, but I don't know. I'm not getting much different aromas with it. And now I'm going to taste. So I'm going to Woo! Yes, so refreshing. Oh yes, this is good. Moscato is always good, especially pink Moscato. And I'm not doing any spitting. All right, so I'm swallowing the wine. There is something else that I wanted to also share with you all. There is something called, when you swirl, I'm going back to the second step. So when you swirl, you're going to see something called, they call it legs or tears. It runs down, all right, inside the glass, of course. What does that tell you? It doesn't really tell you the quality of the wine, but rather it more tells you the sweetness of the wine. Now I can be corrected with that, because some people use the tears, or what they call tears, or the legs, to also judge the quality of the wine. Okay, so I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but what I've been taught is it tells you the sweetness of the wine, and sometimes even the body of the wine. All right. Okay, so how are you all going so far? I hope that you all are doing it with me. Okay. All right. So what I want to do now is to open the red bottle. So if you didn't get it the first time, I'm doing it with the red wine. So this is Riunite Lambrusco, which I love. This is my go-to wine because it's cheap and it tastes really good. All right, so you can, you know, it's good to practice. I always encourage people to always have at least one bottle of red wine, one bottle of white wine, or a rosé in your refrigerator at all times. Okay. All right. So what I did, I had this chilling because room temperature is not practical for someone like me who lives in the tropics. All right, because the wine is going to be too hot. So I have this chilling, but what I want to tell you is that if you're entertaining guests, do not put the wine in the refrigerator for hours, because what it does is that it alters the taste of the wine. You just want it, like, I would say half an hour to 45 minutes before your guest arrives. So by the time the wine is poured and you're tasting it, they can really gain the true appreciation for the wine. Okay, that's just my tip. Okay, so this is the Lambrusco Riunite Italian wine. Oh boy, can't open the cork. All right, hold on. My hand is slippery on the bottle. It's a bit wet. Great. There we go. All right. Okay, so if you don't have cheese or crackers, you can just simply drink water, and that will clear your palate. Okay, to taste your second bottle, or sorry, second glass of wine. Okay, so I'm pouring in. I'm using the curve of the bowl of the glass as my tasting measure. All right, so the first thing is we pour it in, we saw the side. Again, you can use your clear white paper, hold it up against the light, and you can see the true color of the wine. Okay, all right, so we're over with side. Now what are we doing? Swirling, the second S. Oh, sorry. All right, so make sure it's a good swirl so that you're coating on the inside of the glass, because it prepares you for the third step, which is to smell. All right, so once again we swirl, and of course we're looking for the legs. The legs are very they're medium to thick. All right, so this tells me that this is a sweet wine. All right, sweet wine. And now cherries, berries, I don't know, a hint of the what we will call governor plum, something like that. It smells really good. Well, and you can imagine if you have some nice Chinese wontons to go with this will go really good. All right, and then our fourth step, we sip it. Remember, the sip is not that, nor is it like, okay, so and of course your last step I think the wine gets into my head already. The last step is to swallow. Okay, so this is an excellent wine. It will go great with pizza. So if you're doing that nice homemade pizza, you can get the Lambrusco Riunite. And I would say, like, pasta dishes with tomato sauce or things like that, this wine will go really good with it, and it's very reasonable. All right, so if you know, going on a budget, and you still want good quality wine, you can get a Moscato, you can get other brands that doesn't even go over $100. So if it's $100, it's not like too much over the $100, so you can invest in that. And I think that brings us to the end of our wine tasting. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for inspiration, and also if you're interested in having private lessons on learning more about wines, learning more about etiquette, table setting, consultancy if you need to upgrade your look in terms of your workwear or going to functions, I'm your girl. All right, so at the end of the video you'd see all the information is there, and you can always email me, and we can take it from there. I really hope that you'll enjoy this video. I certainly did enjoy this video, and I look forward to seeing you all. And one thing I want to say again is I'm trying to put a new video out every other week. All right, I want to increase it to like 3 times a month, but it's very challenging. So I know I'm not very consistent in terms of how I put my content out. I'm really trying every other week. Look out for a brand new video from me. Wine have me happy. I'll see you all. Take care. Bye.